Are you thinking of buying or selling a home or are a real estate professional and want to keep up with what's happening with the Twin Cities market, news, stats, and trends? Then come hang out with us for a little while. Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall, and welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. For those listening on AM 950, glad to have you here. And for those watching online, please like and subscribe to these videos. Also, as always, we have some classes coming up here for real estate professionals. We have some free CE that is going to be coming out. We have our Creating the Smart Seller class, which is coming up here in mid-February. You can go to Twin Cities Real Estate Show. .com and see that there. And we will be having some more home buyer and seller classes. Actually, by the time this airs, we will have just completed another home buyer class. Looking forward to that. We actually had a seller class last week, and decent turnout for that. Yeah, those are always fun. That said, if you want to kind of jump ahead and become that smart home buyer or that smart seller, download our free guides. We have our smart home buyer, our smart seller guides available online at no cost at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. All right, so today we're going to talk about buying or selling in a normal seller's market. Now, we're coming out here, by the time this airs, it's going to be beginning of February, and we are now in a seller's market.
That happened quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this last week. You know, we had that seller class, and I had asked in that class, when do we think that home prices are the highest? When do homes get the highest offers on them?
Yeah.
And one couple said, I think, June, and the other couple said July. The actual answer is the week between March 15th and March 21st is the actual. And so the reason people think it's June or July is because that's when the houses are closing, not when the offers are actually made.
Correct.
Good point.
And we've seen kind of this like light switch in our market in just the last few weeks. Danielle, you mentioned this house in Prior Lake, which was on the market in the fall. Things were kind of slow, and then you put it on the market here just a few days ago, and kind of fill us in on what happened with that.
Yes, we had lots of showings, and we ended up with multiple offers, quite a few offers on the property.
Good.
Yeah, really good traffic.
Yeah, and it was listed like on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, on a Thursday. Had an offer that evening, and then they kept rolling on in.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how quickly our market makes that shift.
Yes.
We were in a buyer's market in the week between Christmas and New Year's, right?
Right.
Yes.
And in just a matter of 4 weeks, we're now in a seller's market. And it's not just like a flip from one to the other. There's also a balanced market range. So we actually went through that balanced market range in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
Very
all
quickly.
it took. Yeah.
Very quick.
That's all it took. We're going to be talking about some of the challenges, the things you need to consider as a buyer or seller. And again, in what I said was a normal seller's market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because last year and the year before were not normal.
Right.
However, we're tracking right on pace as far as showings per listing activity, right in line with what's normal, like what we would have experienced in 17, 18, 19, and the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, I went back, you guys. I'm glad you said that. I went back to 2015, and we're in that market, 2015 to 2019.
Yep.
As we think it's feeling slow, it's because it does feel slow from 2020 and 2021,
Right. Yep.
2022.
Yeah, were you looking at like applications?
Closed deals, and we're not in a bad situation. It's just more normal.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked across the board, and some data points, I'm like, oh, that's we're seeing certain data points that were at like a 2013, 14. You mentioned 15,
right,
which I think was like the last time we had similar inventory, month supply or something like that, right?
Correct.
And so each of these, but they're all coming in normal. Right.
Right.
Things were definitely accelerating in 13, 14 off of the 12 market, but the market was coming back around. So, I mean, the best to say is we're coming back to normal, which is good. I mean, when I told you where our showing pace was, Danielle, you were like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Yes.
Right.
Because I mean, it's really hard. It's hard on so many levels when you have the craziness. It's hard. It's hard on buyers. It's hard on sellers. I mean, I want to say had never seen more cancellations on offers than I did during those 2 years.
Right.
Which again is hard on sellers.
It is.
Right.
So
I think for people watching the local media and your media sources that you get your information from, I know I just watched the other night, they were talking about how home prices are dropping big time. And that's not true in the Twin Cities market. So what we want to focus on is the Twin Cities market. There are going to be cities and states that are going to feel the drop, right?
Yeah.
You got parts of Texas, Florida,
Nevada.
Arizona, Nevada that are going to see a little bit of a drop in values. Not the Twin Cities. So that's why we do this show, is to focus on
the big
our
thing
market.
too is to get rid of that. You got to take out the seasonal aspect,
Right.
Because we always go up in the summer and we go back down in the winter. But it's the 12-month rolling average that you want to look at to know how strong your market is.
Right.
So, all right, talking on some data points here. New listings into the marketplace did drop off a little bit the week of January 21st, down from 778 down to 700 into the Twin Cities market. Pending sales, though, on the rise. 550 up to 643. And our inventory of homes, that spread is went down just a little bit because of that rise in pending sales. We are now at 6,083 listings over the previous week, 6,186. This is a 21% spread over last year. So this is where that big differential in showing activity per listing is happening. It's because we have 21% more homes on the market out there in comparison to the same time last year, as well as having not as many buyers injected into the market because of those interest rates. So that's absolutely playing into the marketplace. So when we're talking about that showings per week per listing, average 250K to 500K, which is kind of the median price range here in the Twin Cities, we were at a 2.6 that Christmas to New Year's week. So 2.6 showings per week. And then the next week, this is that snowstorm we talked about, and then the holidays in there as well, only jumped to 3.6. But now we're at a 5.6, right? So the market is really picking up. And there's a very noticeable difference as a real estate agent between that 2.6 and, let's say, a 4.
Yeah.
Right. The market is really moving. And like you're saying, you put a house into multiple offers.
Right.
In just, the last few days. And
Yeah.
and that's because of where the market sits. So we are in a seller's market out there. And for sellers, you want to start really, if you're serious about maximizing value, start having those conversations, pick up the phone, reach out to your agent. Don't have an agent, reach out to us. That's what we do when we're not sitting in front of the lights and the camera, right? And you do the loan side. Yes.
Correct, yes.
You want to start creating that plan to maximize value if that's your goal. So our market meter went from the previous week, so this is kind of gauging that strength in the marketplace. We were at a 5.9, which is balanced market range, and now we're at a 6.79, which is almost like mid seller's market range.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
things are clipping along. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about tactics that sellers can use, tactics that buyers can use to navigate through a seller's market. Just because it's a seller's market as a buyer doesn't mean you can't find good buys. And for sellers, just because it's a seller's market doesn't mean you're going to maximize on value. So we're going to take that break. We'll be right back. Kirk Duckwall here again with the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Our local sponsors are BRIX Real Estate, Network Title, Eric Bloomstrand and Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage, and James Tufson with the Preserve Group.
When shopping for a mortgage, there is a formula to get the best rate. With the market today, knowing this formula is more important than ever. My name is Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage. I have over 20 years experience in the mortgage industry and in home buying education. I'd like to share this useful tool with you to help you shop for your mortgage. You can find me at chadpriebe.com or call me at 651-207-9274.
Hello, my name is James Topson with the Preserve Group. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life surprises pop up, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james@mypreservegroup.com or give me a call at 651-728-4334.
Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with BRIX Real Estate and the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial transactions people make. Before you make your next move, download our free Smart Home Buyer or Smart Seller guides to give you the edge in our real estate market. From deal hunting to knowing the right repairs for maximizing value, these free guides have it all. Check them out and more at BRIXTwinCities.com under publications. Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Today we're going to be talking about buying and selling in a normal seller's market. This means you actually have to pick up your house, might want to stage, might want to have professional photography, and actually have a professional real estate agent.
I would recommend that too, yes.
Yes. I say that kind of sarcastically because we know that the last 2 years, basically throw the house up and it would end up in extreme multiple offers. But what's funny is even through that, and this is one of the things I talk about in our sellers class, is like we're in a very interesting industry where people judge the success of an agent on the ability to sell a house. And I'm like, well, I could price a Ferrari for $500 and sell it. Mm-hmm. That takes zero skill.
Right.
I think the success is in achieving your seller's goals. Now, most of the time that's price, and not just getting a high price, but getting the highest price, right? By doing the things that makes you shine far and above the rest. And that doesn't necessarily mean costing a lot of extra money. A lot of people think that. It's about having the right advice, the right timing. Yeah. You mentioned listing on a Thursday. Yeah. Houses that list on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday get 40% more showings than homes that list on a Monday. Yeah. So, there's these little tidbits. Hey, we talked about what week's the best to list a home to get the most for it. What angles, what stuff do you want in a room? What stuff should you pare back? How do you want to prepare the outside of the home? We know all of these, and anybody who wants to see the data, I'm always happy to show it. I'm actually writing a class right now, improving outcomes with data, and I love this price per square foot stuff on staged versus unstaged, vacant versus actually having something in the home, professional photography versus no professional photography. I mean, it's 10 to 14% for these things, right?
That's huge money.
That's huge money.
Yeah,
absolutely huge money. And it doesn't matter if they were in multiple offers or not. Right. Mm-hmm. That's again, it had to do with how it was. So like with the data I was pulling, almost the average was those houses were in multiple offers. Right. But it was they did not achieve what they could have based on a price per square foot basis in comparison to their competition. So these are very important things, and you want to make sure that you're properly planning as a seller to maximize. Some interesting data, though. We're talking about that shift in the marketplace. So right now, the average days on market is sitting at 44 days for all property types. Okay. But if we narrow down and look at single-family homes between 1 and 10 days and 1 and 20 days, it did not change. The median right now is 6 days active. That's a big difference. So what? The why that is it's the new listings, the stuff that's coming on now is selling quickly. It's the ones that were on back in December or earlier that are dragging that average
price drops after price drops.
So really the big thing for sellers, let's start off, is timing in the market.
Timing is huge.
Yeah.
And you played it right with that listing, right? Hey, advise the sellers, hey, maybe the fall's not the best right now. Let's hold out just a little bit of time.
Right.
Put it back on, multiple offers. Right. Just took a little bit of time. The other thing outside of the time of year is the day of the week, like we talked about, when to put it on. Right. So you want to make sure you're calculating that. You don't want to be, even if you're planning, hey, let's get it on this week. If a big snowstorm comes this time of year, just wait.
Yep.
Wait 1 week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or wait 1 day, 2 days, whatever it may be, as long as again you're able to come to market still in that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday can work. But you want to make sure you're also doing a coming soon a lot of times. If you have the opportunity to do coming soon, that can kind of build that interest extra, getting that home visible. I like to call it telling a story. When I put a listing on, one of the things I like to do is here's one picture and some basic specs about the house, right? And people, well, why don't you put up more photos? Well, because I want to see who bites first.
Right.
Just a little information. Then a few days later, let's then add a few more photos. Then maybe the day before, add a description.
Yeah.
Right. And then
and
then the day it goes live, all the pictures. Right. So what
Right.
I'm trying to do, I'm building that activity up. I'm seeing how strong the listing is. The other opportunity with coming soon is if for some reason I'm not seeing that activity, it gives us a chance to analyze and adjust if need be.
Right.
We'll talk about the pricing in a second. So really though, you want to prep. You said you love getting homes ready.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. That's one of my favorites.
Sounds like you were running around with a cleaning bucket and
Yes,
everything.
I like to clean, make sure everything's like right, spot on.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mentioned it doesn't take a lot of money to get a house ready.
No.
That's where so many people go wrong is it, oh, I need to do this, and this before I sell my house. I can't tell you how many times I walk in and say, no,
Yeah.
No.
you just need to work. Let's start out with making sure we do a declutter.
Yes.
And then let's do a deep clean.
Yes.
And then let's see if there's anything else. Actually, I'm working with one of the listeners on AM 950 right now who we're getting the place ready. And is, well, what about this? What about this? I'm like, nope. I was walking around. I'm like, we could probably fix that with a magic eraser.
Right. Yes.
So
Love those magic
right.
erasers.
Oh, they are wonderful.
You don't need to spend a fortune,
No.
to get a house ready, because if you're doing things like redoing a kitchen or redoing a deck or redoing a bathroom, you might not redo it to the liking of a buyer.
Right.
Right. And you're going to spend a lot of money and likely not see the return on investment.
Yep,
You know,
good
I like
point.
the big things I like to focus on out of the gate. It's the general cleanliness,
Yes.
declutter, then paint scuffs and marks and if there's like stains on floors and whatnot.
Yep.
And then we're just on to staging and photography.
Right.
Right.
Makes thousands of dollars difference having a clean and decluttered home. Thousands, not hundreds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like going to your job interview. Are you going to show up in holy jeans and a
Pajamas.
tank top?
Yeah.
Probably not. You're going to dress well and look presentable, just
Right.
like you want your house when you put it on the market.
Yep.
Because
Yes.
they're going to look at that. Their first look is going to determine if this is the right one or not.
Right.
Yeah, it's the idea that people have of the house is going to sell itself. Oh yeah, for way less than you
Way
could,
less, yeah.
unless you actually tried to sell it. The example I love to give is the Macy's versus Walmart. Who sells a pair of Levi's for more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I've heard
Right?
that.
Why? Why does Macy's able to pull that off? Because of presentation,
Right.
Yes.
right?
Yep.
They set the environment.
Yep.
They set the expectation. All of it. Everything's
Yes.
good. The service.
Right.
Everything.
Yes.
Right. So they can pull that off. Okay. So kind of the next thing is a pricing strategy that you want to make sure you have a strategy, not a I feel.
Yeah.
No.
Save
No.
feelings for the bathroom,
Right.
or something. maybe you ate something that's
Yeah.
that isn't agreeing with you. No. You really want a strategy on, hey, where's the likely price range? Where's the market velocity? Where should we put it in the range to get the most people in the door to thus get the highest price point? And not
So
just
big.
the most people, but the most people that are actually going to be interested. That's another thing. And there's ways that you can do that. Actually, we were hosting a class here, a continuing ed class, and people were asking about, well, what about objections? How do you deal with those? And I say, I will bring them up in a neutral manner and talk about how either it can be overcome or how it may not be a thing, but at least it's been brought up.
Right.
Where I remember I had this house on Cleveland Avenue one time, and I said, I even showed a picture of Cleveland. I went back and go, house set back, 150 feet off Cleveland, noise not much of issue, right? And I brought it to attention. So everybody that came in, you didn't hear that objection.
Right.
And again, we sold it very quickly. It was not an issue at all.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you have a strategy, a plan, price it correctly so you drive the most traffic. let's talk on the buy side about things, right? So the seller's done what they need to do, right? Well, that house is going to sell quick. That house is going to sell very quick, and they're going to get top dollar for that house. So as a buyer, what do? Well, look for that house that has the poor photography, because guess what? I can take a good house and make it look bad with photos, and I can make a bad house and make it look good with photos.
That is so
right?
true.
Yeah.
I have some great examples online. If you go to the House Geeks YouTube channel, and it's like showing differences of all these different pictures of listing photos. Don't trust the listing photos.
I kind of like the one photo or a couple photos that are kind of dark and
Oh,
dingy
yeah.
looking. Those are kind of the best buys, I feel. And
Absolutely.
I hear from
Well,
you
what-
guys, right?
I say, what's the problem with the house that only has one photo? And a lot of people will be like, oh, it needs a lot of work, or it's rentals and it's trashed. No, the problem is it has one photo.
Right. That's
Right?
the problem.
That's it. That's the problem. It's amazing. If I were to say 30 to 50% of the time you walk into that house and it's a great house, I would gladly walk into 4 homes and get a screaming deal because of bad photography.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Versus going into
sure.
multiple offers with that one that was done correctly.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah, bad photos, limited number of photos, price too high to begin with. That's another, right?
Right.
See,
Yeah.
look for those Monday homes,
Right.
right? And the Monday house is that house that's still there after its first weekend, right? It's Monday evening. What homes are still around? Well, as always, the time just flashes by
I know
real
it,
quickly.
doesn't
it?
Yeah.
It
So we
does.
got to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back for a brief segment. Got a fun little story to tell about a multiple offer situation. Let me grab the book. Almost tipping over. There we go. Yeah, a lot of what we're talking about, Smart Seller Guide. Download it, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There's some great examples of those pictures in there as well. We'll be right back.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Hello, my name's James Topson with the Preserve Group. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life surprises pop up, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james@mypreservegroup.com or give me a call at 651-728-4334.
When shopping for a mortgage, there is a formula to get the best rate. With the market today, knowing this formula is more important than ever. My name is Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage. I have over 20 years experience in the mortgage industry and in home buying education. I'd like to share this useful tool with you to help you shop for your mortgage. You can find me at chadpriebe.com or call me at 651-207-9274.
Oh, I suppose we're back on. Just was letting the clock run in my head. Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show.
You were deep in thought.
I
Kirk.
was deep in thought. Well, what's funny? Yes, I was going to give you a shout out.
thank you.
Yeah, Chad, thank you for coming in, and Danielle, because I didn't do it at the beginning of the show.
Oh, that's
And the
okay.
reason I was so deep in thought, as I was thinking about, I need to also give a shout out to our producer and board operator, Lauren, who's going to fix and put in Danielle's and Chad's name at the beginning of the show.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Lauren.
So
Thank you.
I mentioned downloading, and I've stabilized my chair now. I mentioned downloading our free guide. So for the Smart Home Buyer Guide, got some great tips on deal hunting in
Really
there,
good
right?
tips.
And for sellers out there, download the Smart Seller Guide. They're free. You can do this at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. And if you ever want to have conversations about how your market is doing, want to get a total market overview for your property, see where showing activity is at, if you want to talk about strategy of when maybe to list and max out, happy to do that. So talking about strategy and maxing out, I had this listing, and this clearly goes to that strategy versus mistake, right? And I had this property, and we analyzed it, and we knew that it was going to sell for higher than what the comparables were showing, just because of that market velocity that was out there. So we had figured it's going to sell for $550 to $575, and we put it on the market for $539. And again, list price. It's either a strategy or it's a mistake.
Right.
We had a strategy. We knew what was going to happen. We put it into multiple offers. It was pretty funny. His very first offer comes in at list. Second one comes in at $550. Third one comes in at $550. The fourth one comes in at $560. Then we get one at $575. And then a couple of them start going to town with each other.
Okay.
We ended up selling for $596,
Wow.
above the estimated range.
That's awesome.
But it was strategy,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Had we gone high, went for $575, a lot of people might have looked at that and goes, "There's no way we'll compare."
Right.
Right.
Right? There's no
That's
comps
true.
that are even close. So you want to make sure that you have a good strategy in place for when you go to market. And then for buyers out there, just be aware. Keep your eye out. Don't end up in a situation where you're going to overpay and regret.
Right.
All right. So as always, you can reach out to us, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. Have some of our past shows up there as well. Our free guides. Yeah. Any questions, show suggestions, submit them there. We'll be back next week. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Good seeing you guys.
People always ask realtors, what is your commission? But what they should be asking is, what is your rate of return? Commissions only vary by a couple of percent from agent to agent. However, the price per square foot you get just based on their experience and the quality of marketing they use can vary by 10% or more. At BRIX Real Estate, our agents use the right marketing and have the experience to get you top dollar for your house. See what we can do for you at BRIXTwinCities.com.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Don't forget to check us out online anytime at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There you can find all of our past shows, our weekly market updates, along with the latest and greatest searching and researching tools, and our free publications, to include the Smart Home Buyer Guide and the Smart Seller Guide, along with the BRIX Report. All of these free for you. If you have any real estate questions, please feel free to give us a call, 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. Happy to help answer any of your real estate questions or assist with your real estate needs.